When my husband decided that he will going to take the children to Syria, he had taken the passport, he took a plane ticket for him and the two children. He said, or you come or you stay, but I'm taking the children. And he announced that to me on a Friday. I spoke with the new FBI agent, and he told me to leave the house, to hide, and they are going to have a restraining order, and everything will be okay. I will have to file for a legal separation. I did not want to file for a divorce, because I know that under Islamic law, a woman cannot ask for a divorce, or she's in big trouble. So I did not want to upset that community. And I filed for legal separation. When I got a restraining order. I got that restraining order. But now, after the restraining order, my husband hired a high-powered attorney, and we are dealing in Memphis with what they call the good old boy club, that money talks. And here I have the book of the link to terrorism that Joe Kaufman put together for my husband and this second wife that he had in Florida, and I was not even aware of it. But she is a representative of the Islamic Society of Central Florida, and she is very active in the movement. The judge did not even want to open that book, and said, I don't care, he is a golden goose. She gave full custody to my husband. She put us, both my two sons, I have another son in college, in the street. She depleted all accounts and left us with no money. She gave me 1 year alimony that is ending this February, and very little child support. We were homeless. I could not rent an apartment. Nobody wanted to take somebody that has 1 year alimony, that's it. So we went to Texas, where some friend gave us their country house to stay during the vacation. After that, I had to come back to Memphis, and one of the real estate lady with a French lady too, she said, what's going on? I said, this is what's going on. I thought I would be protected by the American system, the judicial system. I was not. Not only that, I was completely left, completely destroyed. But I knew I was sleeping with the enemy, but I could not focus on the size of the enemy. I had to focus on the size of God. And I said, even when it's terrible, when it's horrible like that, God will help us, because we are telling nothing but the truth. And I hope this story will help other women that cannot come forward, that live in this country, and I know a few of them. They cannot talk, because if they talk, they are going to be killed, or they are threatened to be killed. I just want to say that if, you know, those Marines over there that are fighting this war against terrorism, they are fighting a war they are not trained for. The war is here, in this country, and if every one of us does not go to the battlefield and fight it, we are going to lose that war. Thank you.
Cyrus is now working on another project, the screen adaptation of the story of Soraya M., which is an actual stoning that took place in the late 80s in Iran of a woman in her native village, with the participation of her father, her sons, and her husband. Cyrus is beginning the filming in Jordan shortly, and he hopes to have it available by the end of this year.
What I have to talk about, really by comparison, is fairly trivial. It's just, I'm in the movie business, and as we all know, it's Beverly Hills. Movies have power. And this is the project that I'll be doing. This is the book. You can get it off Amazon. It's called The Stoning of Soraya M. I developed it in participation with my wife Betsy, who's here, who's also a screenwriter. And although I'm of Iranian heritage, I really felt this story, we both sort of discovered it together, really needed a woman's participation and perspective. We've got a number of women involved. The story, as Janet described it, is a woman's husband in this rural village in Iran had decided that he'd had enough of her and wanted to marry a 14-year-old. So with the complicity of the local cleric and the mayor of the village, he charged his wife with adultery. He didn't want to. This was those few years right after the Shah left, so there were still some laws left over. So he knew that he may have to pay some support. He didn't want to have to do that. So he concocted a charge of adultery. They got the complicity of others in the village, basically by muscling them, because the power in this village is the mullah, is the mayor. And she was given a trial and executed by stoning in the same day. Now, I don't know if you know how stonings are done in Iran, especially in the outlying villages. The way it's conducted essentially is they dig a hole. The woman is placed in the hole. She is only exposed from the waist up. Her hands are bound to her side. She's basically sticking out of the ground. And the first to throw the stones are her husband, her father, and her sons. No one is allowed to hold a stone that cannot be held in their hand because they don't want the stones to be too big, because then it'll be over too quickly. Now, I want to just read a short passage here for you, just to give you an idea of what this is like. In the center of the circle, Soraya was slowly expiring. Her head and chest were little more than a shapeless mass of bloody flesh. The noisy crowd, completely out of control, broke ranks and moved in even closer, ready for the kill. Her scalp was nothing more than a gaping wound. Her jaw had exploded. Her eyes and nose burst open. Her head drooped at a grotesque angle like some bizarre carnival mask over what remained of her right shoulder. No one's ever done a movie about stoning. No one's ever really shown what a stoning is like. That's the intention here with this project, is to basically show Sharia law in action. Now, there's a silver lining at the end of this story, a small one, and that is that her aunt, who was her only defender, was able to get this story to an Iranian journalist, get it on tape. He also interviewed some other people in the village, and he escaped Iran to France, where he published this book. It became a bestseller in Europe and received much international acclaim. Like I said, you can get it on Amazon. I'm leaving in about 3 weeks to go to Jordan to begin prep. We start shooting in March and April. I'm doing the film with Iranian actors in the original language. The intention behind that is, well, first of all, we're going for a level of authenticity. I think if it's American actors in an Iranian village, it'll be a little less believable. Furthermore, the other intention is that I know if this film is made in Farsi with English subtitles, it will be seen inside of Iran. The actress from A House of Sand and Fog, Shoreh Aghdashloo, she was nominated for an Academy Award, will be in the film. She's playing the aunt who tries to defend her niece, Soraya. Shoreh has been very outspoken. She was also in Joel Cerno's show, 24. She's been very outspoken against the Iranian government. And I think she's showing a great deal of courage by being in this film, and I'm very proud to bring it to your attention and to be part of this panel. Thank you.